Greetings everyone, this is Elizabeth and today I am gonna share with you some stamping on tissue paper and the Local King rubber stamp Humming Along. Now this set was featured in Nancy Stamp's channel as a stamp along, which just means that they gave enough notice that if you wanted to purchase the stamp, you could purchase the stamp, and then the FSC design team all got together on Zoom and they were all stamping, and as we're watching, we could stamp with them. Now, what was super special about this is Lisa from Local King Rubber Stamp was there too. So she was stamping with everybody. So it was like you were there stamping and having fun. Now, as I was watching, I did do some stamping. I stamped out this card and this card. And then I did some side work and I just stamped on some tissue. Now, when I shared my photos in the FSC, somebody's like, what is that? And I'm like, it's tissue. And they were curious as how I used it. So I'm going to show how I used tissue in my projects. Now, Lisa's stamps are super fun. They're different, okay? This is a shadow die. Shadow, okay? S for shadow. And what that means is whatever color you color your stamp is what's going to come out, okay? So here you can see I stamped it in some oranges, okay? Whatever I put on here and stamp, that's it. I'm done. I don't have to do anything else. A detail die, okay, is the outline. You stamp it, it's an outline, and then you color it in, okay? So your shadow, you color it, stamp it, done. Detail, stamp, color it in, then you're done. So it's an added step. Now, her stamps are made in-house. She designs them. They have the mold sent out to be made, and then when they get the mold, they make their own right there. They do this all in-house right there in Canada. And the only thing they don't do, I think, is, yeah, they send out for the dies, okay? But she does design the dies herself, so they are superbly fabulous, okay? They are a fabulous complement to her stamps. You get two, okay? You get the outline die, the shadow die, and then you get the detail die, which you can see I've been using. And I missed some of the white paper. You always want to poke those white paper or whatever color you're using. Always poke it out, okay? And that's what these holes are for. So you can go in the backside and pop those out. And when they're extra stubborn, there we go, okay? So now we have no white. This is ready to go. Okay, so detail die, shadow die, okay? Kind of the same with the stamping. Shadow stamp, detail. See how all the white here? If this was a detailed stamp, it would be in reverse. All the white would be your color, and all the color would be white, and you would have to color that in with a pen, pencils, water, whatever you want to do, okay? This, you put the color on and stamp it, that's what it's going to be. No extra work needed, okay? Your detail die is going to cut it out in great detail, okay? That just lays right on top. You cut it, it's beautiful. You can see I missed. I have a white halo, like a little drop shadow. Not a big deal, not a game changer. It still looks beautiful, right? But I'll show you how we can avoid that a little bit. That's your detail. Now your shadow die, okay, is a big void, and that's what it cuts out. This, okay, you could use on this as is, and you would just cut it out as a solid piece. This would still be there, that would still be there, it would still be there, but it would be a nice solid cutout. Or you cut it out with the detail, your shadow, and then you marry the two together, okay? And then you have this gorgeous offset. If you did ink blending, if you did clouds, I mean, anything you want on your background shadow, and you're good to go. You could pop this up and make it a little shaker card. Okay, it's just enough room. You could put a foam piece all back here, put a little window in there, and you've got a nice shaker front. Okay, lots of options. So you're getting a lot of options with the price point, and it was phenomenal. Okay, but look at how well that just sits right in there. Just gorgeous. Okay. So this is what I got, and at the time she announced she was doing the stamp with me, she gave us a discount, plenty of time to order. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Customer service is fabulous. With COVID, you expect longer times in the mailing. I waited 30 days. It never showed up. I let her know. She shipped them out. It showed up within a week. So definitely great to work with. Okay. If you were watching this stamp with me on Nancy's channel, you saw that they were using markers. The Local King markers are a water-based marker. You color them all up, a dye-based marker, anything that'll stay wet, color it, stamp it, you're good to go. I don't have those. What I do have is ink. I got a lot of ink. So before I get into the inks, here is a couple of examples. Here's another tissue. We did 3 colors, green, orangey, and blue. This is a watercolor. Stamped it, sprayed both the papers, and then added more water. Okay. Super and solid. That's just one color. Isn't that beautiful? I love that one. That one turned out really good, I think. Okay. This is tissue paper stamped on a piece of garbage plastic. You know, I saved the packaging to something, and I was gluing this down, and I glued the wrong side, and I was like, So I was like, oh, well, let's put it on something clear. And what I did is I dropped some alcohol ink over the top of it. It ran to the back side, and so now it's like, I don't know which side I like better. But this piece is ready to go. But yeah, I just glued the tissue paper right to the plastic. Pretty clever, huh? This one here, I cut everything out. If I were I fussy cut all of this out. If I were smart, I would have used the detail die and then just snipped them out. But no, I did the full-on fussy cutting, and I had some boo-boo pages, so I just snipped the good bits out. Okay. And then I made my own background. These 2 blues are the same. They're off the same sheet as this. Oh, no, not that. Not off of that. Okay. This is a full sheet here. In order to get this darker color, I just ran some ink over the top of it. This one here is hiding a massive boo-boo underneath the tissue paper. Okay, underneath that tissue paper, I have an image that I stamped and then wasn't paying attention, and it shifted, and so it double stamped. And I'm like, I don't want to just throw it away because it's a good piece of paper. It was just poorly stamped. So what I did is I kept it. I used the shadow die. Okay, you see this here? It, oops, not like that. No, that was it. I don't know. It's something. There we go. So I shadow cut that piece out. Okay, I basically set this on there and chopped it out. Okay. And then when I had it cut out, I took my piece of stamped tissue paper. I put glue stick on the back and stuck the 2 pieces together, and then ripped the tissue. So that's where we get the tissue halo. So if you look very closely, you'll see this super light color in there. That's my double stamped image, okay? And it's poking through in several places. And then these brighter colors, that's the stamped tissue. And then I just took another detail die right over the top. So I took one of these and popped it up right over the top. See, I could keep going. I could definitely pop this right over the top of that and just create these stacked layers of goodness. And what we're going to do today is just do some stamping on tissue paper. And then I'll show you how to apply it to what you want, to any paper. Okay. And we'll do this one because this is, you do this. Did I do that with a cleanup? No, I did something else with the cleanup. Where did that one go? I don't know. But I'll show you, you can use the cleanup stamp when you're cleaning up to make some pretty stuff too. So we're going to put our little stamp here and we're just going to grab some tissue. This tissue, I get, it's sandwiched in between. My brain just ran away. Transparencies. So the box of transparencies I have, make sure that closes. Yep. Comes with a tissue in between. Okay. Pardon me. I gotta move this cord. Woohoo! Swinging! Okay. So this little square right here is a very low tack sticky square from another thing that I own that needs them. It's not the Sizzix squishies or anything, but you can definitely use that. So I've got that all lined up. And we're going to do a simple one color ink, okay? Just to show you what happens. So if you were to do this in black, which would be gorgeous. If you did this all in a jet black with embossing over the top, I could just see that being pretty. But I've got a blue, okay? I'm going to stamp Tim Holtz Platform, Stamp with Purpose. Sorry if you can hear my cat. She's having issues. Okay, Stamp with Purpose. You can get your little tool if it'll help you stamp with purpose. Okay. The Misty, you don't have to stamp this hard. Different tools, different techniques. Okay. Look at that. Super beautiful. Tissue paper, be careful because it might still be wet in areas. Okay. The ink dries differently on tissue. I'm going to slide this off. Now here's the thing again with tissue. You peel it, okay? You need to clean, okay? In between the tissues, the tissue is so thin, ink just goes right through, okay? And so we have ink down. You just get your little water bottle, whatever you have handy, and just wipe up that ink, okay? Definitely wipe it up before you go and do something else. Now I'm going to turn it this way because I think, nope, pull it a little bit this way. I'm going to see if I can't fill this up a little bit. Just a wee bit more. That might fit on there. Okay, we're going to hold that down and we're going to squish that to that sticky, and then I'm going to use my little magnet right there. Okay, so that was solid stamping. Now I'm going to mist this. I'm just going to give it one nice mist, maybe two, because it kind of didn't get no water on there. So now I've got some water drops on this. Okay, it's going to be a different effect. I didn't re-ink it. This is when I would go to clean it to do another stamp. we're going to see what it looks like, because sometimes they look pretty awesome. Okay. Stamping with pressure this time. And there we go. And you see how much softer that is? But that is just phenomenal. Okay. And it did some interesting stuff to the paper because it's water on tissue. Yeah. And then we're going to clean. Okay. We're going to flip our... Let's not and say we did. We're going to cut our tissue straight down. Right down. Okay. I'm going to set that to the side to dry. That way there I can just do this other piece here. And I don't care about the wrinkles in my tissue. Not at all. Squirt this time to actually clean it. Water-based inks just need some water to clean. Okay, and then what we're going to do this time is pause 1 second. Okay, so this time I'm going to use my little Distress Inkers, okay, and we're going to just slap on some color. We're going to do, let's do a marble purple, and that's kind of what I did here, okay, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in reverse, and we're going to do the dark color first, okay, because I think I started with the light on that one, and I want more light. So this here, you see that? Tip, 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 tip. Nothing spectacular. I just tapped on some ink. Okay, purple number 1, done. Stamp with some purpose, peel that up. We can see that, oh, it didn't cover hardly anything, and that's okay. Now we're going to go in between, tap in there, fold, pressure. Purple number 2 done. Let's come back with a purple number 3. I'm going to spritz and clean because I have my lighter purple this time. Okay. And I've noticed that I missed the wing, so we want to make sure that we get the wing. Just like so. Stamp. And I don't think I have a lighter purple, so what I'm going to do is we're going to use this. I don't know what that is. That's milled lavender. We're going to do that on our final layer. Okay. Spurts to clean. Wipe. Sorry about the squeaky. Get that in there. And now this time I'm going to go in all over with this milled color because it's going to be lighter. The dark colors will still show through. Okay. And they're kind of marbly looking right down. And I've noticed I've been missing right there in the center. So we're just going to give extra compressions on that one. Stamping with purpose. Now I'm liking that, but I'm not liking that. So I'm going to come in. I'm going to kind of close my window to see which one that is. Okay, so it's going to be this one. Okay. I'm going to close that up. I'm going to just tap this because I don't want it too bright. And now I'm just going to focus that pressure right on those flowers. Oh. And so now we have this very interesting marbly colors going on. Okay. Now here's a good view. Can we see the ink that's all left behind? That's what you really got to watch for. Because if I'd have set my tissue in there, it would have picked that up easy peasy. And it's not like a white sheet of paper. I'd have seen that right through there. Okay. So now we're going to flip that over. Okay. Get that stuck down. And I had ink. You can see there was some ink in there. I didn't clean it very good. But for today's purpose, that's okay. So now we want it to be more like the pins. We want it really interesting, really fun, and whatnot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that flower, that area. Maybe not my bird. We're going to take that off the bird. Okay, we're going to stamp that color. Okay, clean that. It might be a little more time consuming to do it this way, but if you don't want to contaminate your inks, you need to clean in between. There's nothing wrong with it. And we're doing this in real time, okay? I'm going to go back to this one. So now I've got those colors for that, and maybe I missed some areas up here, so I'm going to go just up in there, tap in there, push with purpose, peel, and there's that. And then we're going to go into our greens. Okay, maybe I want super dark first. Stamp with purpose. Okay, and I can see I missed that whole section there. That's all right. We're going to go in with this lighter green, and that is like right in there. Make sure I didn't get any on my flower itself. You can use a rag, use your finger, whatever makes you happy. Little bit of pressure. Okay, and I keep missing that guy, but maybe that guy is just hanging out as a different color. And I tapped a little bit of the ink off so it wasn't so bright. But there it is. One little oddball piece. You're like, oh, that was the wrong color. Well, you can go in and add more of that color. We're going to soften up the edges just a little bit. Put that in there. I don't know if you guys can see, but it definitely added a little bit darker in there. So let me do that again. I'm going to tap it with the corner. Okay. You can tap it with your towel or your fingers. Nothing wrong with getting in there and getting dirty. Okay, and look at that. We've added more color. We're going to clean. And now we're going to do with those birdies. And I'm just going to do like a blue bird right up into there. Make sure I didn't get it on my flower. I'm going to stamp. I don't know which one I was stamping. There's that. See that? And if you're not too worried about your inks, you can leave that residue a little bit. Blend right in. Just make sure I didn't get my flowers. Like that one there. Okay. Just like so. And maybe we want more of that blue on the belly. Kind of smoosh that out a little bit. Oh yeah, I added a nice little shadow in there. Maybe his eye is just not dark enough. Add a little extra color in there. Super. Not really thinking about it. Just pick some colors and go. Ooh, let's do a yellow base. So this whole bird's going to be yellow. But what I'm going to avoid is the bars. Okay. I don't want the bars yellow because if I throw purple or anything in there, it's going to turn it brown. Okay. I'm going to take out some of that yellow. Oops. Yellow in there. There's our nice yellow bird. I'm going to clean that really good. Okay, and now we're gonna go, see, it's this bird we're working with, so I want my bar over here. Little bit of blue. Little bit of blue. And if I don't want it on my bird, I'm just gonna clean it up. And I know if I don't clean this, that will make a mess. I got a little bit there. Not too worried about it though. Oh, see that? Isn't that just so much better? And then we are going to add some green to this bird right around the eye and maybe the bottom, and tap it out a little bit. Oh, not enough green. That's okay. We'll just pick a different one and we'll do the same thing right at his head, right at his belly. Stamp that in there. Oh yeah, see, that's adding a little bit more color, and maybe I want to add a little bit of blue in there. Oh yeah. And then we have that. Very delicate, very interesting. And we're gonna do one without all the yapping. We're just gonna go in there and do some stamping. If I can find another sheet of tissue. Here we go. Okay, so we're just gonna set this tissue down. Go like so. Okay. Go over that with you. Some greens up at the top. Okay. Clean that off, and then I'm gonna do twins-ish. We're gonna do a base coat on that. I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on a minute. So we're gonna go thick with that one. And then I dabbed off some of that one. Okay, now this one is going to have A little bit of green right in there. Not enough green. Soften that up. That's better. That's better. And then this one is going to be wings of red. Which turn it to a little bit of purple. And do just put the little corner of that right in there. Just like so. And yeah, we're gonna do just a little bit of, because you know hummingbirds, man, they get all sorts of colors going on. I'm gonna add and add and add. Just using the corner of the pad. Here we go. See, you can keep going. You can add all sorts of more color, and if you want something to stand out more, you can go right in. Okay. Soften that up just a little. That's better. Okay. Fabulous, right? Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Okay, I'm going to do one more thing just because it's interesting to me, so you might find it interesting. And that was this. That's this watercolor one. Okay, so all we need is pardon me, I have misplaced my watercolor pad. Hold on one moment, please. All right, so I got my little watercolor pad, nothing fancy. Watercolor paper usually has two sides. It has a really bumpy side and a lot smoother side. I'm going for the smoother side just because this is a stamp. Now, to do this, I did one color. So we're going to do that again, but I think we're going to do it in purple because I think that would be pretty. Okay. So all I did was I inked up the whole thing. Just got some color on there. Made it gorgeous. Okay. And then I got my paper slightly wet. Oops. Something was on there. Okay. I need you to stay put though. Because if I have to stamp again. Okay. And I got inky everywhere, but that's okay. So I'm going to mist my paper. Okay. Why are you misting, stupid? Okay. And then mist my stamp. Okay. So I've got a little bit of water here and a little bit of water there. And now I'm going to stamp. And I'm going to let the two get really happy and let that water soak into the paper and pull in that ink. Okay. No two times will be the same. This is the best part. Okay. No two times are the same. And then you lift and you've got this little bit of bleeding there, but it's not enough. So what I did is I squirt and I squirt. Okay. Because this is water reactive. Okay. Now I'm going to turn. I got a little too much water. Hold on a sec. We're going to turn on the dryer. I'm going to hope that I didn't move anything. But I don't know if you guys, this is so fabulous. Even though I had way too much water, because I let it sit, the original stamping stained. So you can still see that bird in there. So you could leave it just like that and be happy. But I'm not. And I'm going to take this stamp just as it was, and I'm going to re-stamp. That is the joy of a stamp positioner. You just re-stamp. Okay. And so there's going to be little water droplets and various other things going on. No big deal. Okay. And then we pull that off. And now I've added more detail back in. And this is a keeper. It's different. It's unique. Okay. And you can add more watercolor in to do the background. My inky fingers. You can use your shadow die to cut this out. Okay. And then there's bye-bye to that right there. Okay. How pretty is that going to be? So beautiful. Okay. So there's that. All right, so I'm going to set this aside because our big project, what we want to do, besides clean that, okay, clean that, clean this, okay. Get this out of the way. Tissue paper. How do we deal with that now that we've stamped it and made it beautiful? Okay. Well, just like anything else. Oops, not you. Oh, I ran out of card bases. Okay. Well, that was fun. Hold on a second. Okay, so say we did this and we're like, ugh, that's not our favorite, okay? It's not our favorite. We're going to use it anyways, okay? We're going to line this up, and if you've cut multiples out, you probably have a stencil, sort of. I may have buried mine. There they are. Okay, so I've cut these out before. So that's my detail. I can tell because of how much skinnier and how much wonderful detail there is. Okay, so there's that. So this, okay, I can set this on here and kind of say, okay, that's pretty good. I like it like that. Okay, maybe visually you can see this better. You can see it blocking off better. And then you just drop this guy right inside. Okay, and then he is perfect, good to go. Actually, I think I'm actually very perfect. And so for me, I have the Cuttlebug. They don't make this anymore. Use what you have. My cutting mats, those I do have somewhere. Not like I've been using them all day. Okay, and I just have a little piece of washi. Okay, brand new washi. Some is super sticky, some is not as sticky as others. I'm not going to use that because this is pretty easy to line up. I mean, it's pretty darn easy. So I'm going to line this up. I'm going to tape it down. Make sure I still like the alignment, and I don't. I just need to scooch it over just a hair. That's better. Okay. So for me, I'm going to follow my sandwich for my Cuttlebug. It's probably going to be different from yours. I know that my Cuttlebug has issues with thick paper, so I'm going to just do it twice. 1, 2, pop you out, okay? Ta-da! Fabulous little halo. A new template if I need it. Good to go. Okay, so we have this, okay? Now we pick our tissue. Do we want the same color to go over the top? Do we want to bring in color? Okay. I'm not really digging those ones. Oh, yes, this one. This one's stamped out beautifully. Oh, and then you can see all of that color behind there. Okay, the only difference we have to do here is how we adhere this to that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, scooch that just a little bit, make sure I'm in frame. I'm going to grab my big mama glue stick, Elmer's Craft Bond. Okay, I'm going to crank that out, and then before I do, I'm going to separate these two just so I don't mess them up. And I'm going to give the one a lot of room because we're going to do a little bit of tearing after it's all glued. Don't panic. It's not a bad tearing, okay? So that is going to go just like that, okay? Now, if you're worried about the color moving because this is a water-based color, okay? When you glue your tissue, start in the middle and go in one direction, okay? Turn it around. Start in the middle, go the other direction. Okay? Just like that. If you're not worried about it, or you want to make sure the edges are good, you can go around this on the edges. And we got some nice glue going down. And then we're going to take this, make sure we glued the right side. I had not done that a couple of times, and this part's a little bit tricky because we want to offset just a hair, but not so much it won't fit on the thing. And you don't have a lot of wiggle room with tissue paper. Once you get the glue on it, it's like really glued. And you just kind of work it. Okay, that turned out really pretty, I think. You can see the purple in there, and it just wicks out. Ugh, so pretty. Now, tissue is fun, okay? You can fold it back on itself just like this. Okay, oops, wrong way. Fold it back on itself. It's not going to hurt it. Even if you think you're creasing it, you're not. You can put glue right there, right up there, right there, right there, okay? And then you just peel that back, and your crease is now gone, okay? Same thing. Add some glue right there, rub that in. So you can go back and get those corners really good, okay? Oh, so like right here, I missed that really bad. Okay, get that up there. I cut that a little too close, but that's okay. Now we want to give, make sure everybody's down, okay. You can grab a paintbrush with a little bit of water. You can grab a water brush, whatever you need to do. A Q-tip with water, okay? And all you're going to do is you're going to put that water right at the edge. Okay? You see that? It just pokes right through. Just put that water right at the edge. Just get it all nice and wet. Okay? Right around the edge. All the way around. Okay? Just like so. Now, you're going to take and just peel. Peel away. Look at that. And now you have this fun torn edge. A little bit of sticky. Okay? If you don't want your cut edge, just add a little bit of water and peel it off. And you can peel this really close. I mean, you could peel it, you could cut it. I mean, you can remove the tissue however you want. But I like the torn tissue. Okay? So I guess I moved that kind of fast. That wasn't very kind of me. Here, let's hold that up again. Okay? So we have this nice torn tissue look. And we can see that beautiful color behind there. And it would have been different. If we'd have just put down and did a whole background thing, it would have been different. Okay, and you can see I didn't line it up very good there. So it's not a big deal because it's kind of organic and unique. Okay. And to be more precise, what you could do is you could glue a little bit. Okay, you glue, well, not even, don't put your glue on yet. You get it lined up. Why is that so much smaller? Oh, because I had it backwards. Wait, you're such a dork. So you can line it up. Okay, you get it lined up exactly how you want it. Then you lift it and you add a little bit of glue. Get that down. Then you can lift it, add a lot of glue, and then get that down. So there's a lot of ways to apply it, especially if you want it perfect. If you want a perfect offset, like so. Ooh, that looks nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift that. Glue stick is the best for this. Wet glues, these kind of glues, not so fabulous unless you can apply it with a paintbrush like Mod Podge. Mod Podge is great for projects like this. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue to my bird right there. I'm going to finesse that one flat just like so. Okay. And now that one is down, but I want to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. So again, you can fold this paper just like that. You think, oh, she just put a crease in it. Promise you, you won't even know. Okay. And then you lift and you work that crease right out of there. Look at that. Okay. Get your glue on. Just like so. Scoop that on there just like so. Oh, isn't that pretty? Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Now, I'm not going to get the same effect because I didn't cut any of this out. So this is a different effect. Okay, I'm not going to have those torn edges. So if I go to fussy cut, it's going to be a different edge. Okay, and then what do you do with that? You do exactly what you always do. You trim it down to size. Okay. So, did I make sure I stamp that straight? Hey, that does kind of look straight. So I'm going to trim just there. Just there. Okay, so that little panel is ready to go. Or is it? You're like, oh, I like it, but I think it needs a little bit something, something. Okay. I would wait till the glue dried, but you can add more color. Okay. You could stencil right over the top of these. Maybe we want a little bit more pink in there. Oops, not that one. This one. So you can stencil, you can, it's paper. Once it's glued down, it's like another layer of paper. And you can add color to the top, you can add color underneath. It's just so many things. And say you did this one and you're like, I lost a lot of the detail. And it did. It lost a lot of detail. Maybe that wasn't exactly what you were going for. Okay, don't panic. Do I have one already cut out? I know I got that purple one. Here it is. Okay, so maybe you've got another one in detail, and that's what happened with my card. Is I had a boo-boo on top of a boo-boo, so I just kept going, okay, until I made it just right. And maybe this one sits in there, and then I've got this neat little halo for that. Run some pop-up tape on there, okay. If you have a little piece that curls up, just put the glue on it and then fold it back on itself, okay. And if you pop this up, you're going to have this very interesting design back there, especially if you do a shaker card or something. It's just going to be And then you put this on your card base, whatever you want to do, layer it up, and you're good to go. Okay? Or you just take your tissue and you could probably cut it out. Let me try that real quick, because that's one thing I didn't do. So let me do this. I don't know if the tissue will cut through the thing, but we'll find out for you. You can't do the tissue by itself. That much I tell you right now. So maybe if you put your tissue on a little scrap of paper, okay? Do a little tissue on your scrap of paper. Oh, and this is how you would get a better outline, because you see my outline, I missed it. If you use the leftovers, okay, this popped out of there. Okay, popped right out. So if I put this down, which means that is backwards, I think. Tissue paper. If you don't like one side, flip it over. You might like the other side. Okay, so I can put baby. See here, now I can line everybody up. And I can make it more even. It's not going to be perfect. I mean, my tissue paper shrank a little bit and everything, okay? But you're going to have a more even halo for everybody. There we go. Nope. Let's do... I wasn't looking at this wing. And then that's off a little. The only bad thing about tissue is it shrinks and does weird stuff. But we're going to try and get it the best we can. And I did all that work and I didn't have a piece of tape handy. Sheesh. Handy tape. Handy tape. There you are. Okay, so I'm just going to get my washi tape, maybe. My washi tape is being bad. Hold on a minute. It might take a whole minute. Oh my goodness. Okay. Bad washi tape. Bad washi tape. Okay. So we're just going to take a chunk of washi tape. And I know this is a little too sticky sometimes. So I'm just going to rip out some hair. That felt great. Okay. So now we're going to double check. Make sure everybody's happy. Okay. I've got that nice and tight with my fingers. Okay. I'm going to set my little die right in there. It's going to get happy. And now I'm going to put this tape so it gets everything, just like so, okay? And I don't care about the paper in the back, because remember, that's not what we're cutting out. We're just using it for support, just in case. So we're going to grab our die cutter. Hanging onto our tissue. So I put it on there. It's still hanging onto our tissue. Make my sandwich. And we're going to send her through. We're going to send her through twice just because it's super fine detail. Now I probably wouldn't have had any problems with my Gemini, but my cuddle bug is so handy for a single project. Okay, so now we're gonna, well, it went through this, which is fabulous, which means it went through my tissue. Now we're gonna have to be extra careful because it's tissue paper. Now, her dies, the detail one does stick to the border, okay? You have to snip it off of the border. The only weird thing. Okay, we got... Can we get it? I didn't rip anything? I did it. Okay. Oh, look at that tissue. It when you cut with a die, it forms the paper a little bit. So you're going to, oh my gosh, that is so delicate. You're going to have it get like impressed into something else, okay? So there's little areas where it's just hanging on. And because this is tissue paper, I can just grab both little pieces and just yank. Okay. Regular paper, you just snip it with your scissors or run it over with your X-Acto knife, whatever's handy. Look at that. Now that is some super fine tissue work right there. In order to get this to stay down, spray adhesive, just spray, and then look, you can use either side. Isn't that gorgeous? Just some spray adhesive, glue that down. Oops, 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 oops. Got it stuck in its own little die. Okay. Do a background with your little tissue over it, and people will look at that and go, what? You know, maybe you like the little things sticking up. Oops. Did I just rip it? I'm a brute. Don't mind me. Okay. How gorgeous is that? So fine and delicate. So tender. That's tissue paper. Photo paper. I remember I did it on watercolor. I didn't do the detail die, but that's tissue on watercolor paper. Okay. So we can do tissue on tissue. Okay, but I don't like that. Probably do something like that. And see, we just built up more layers. I think I'm going to do that one after we're all done. Make some cards, put these bad boys together and post them on my Instagram. So again, you can use your tissue paper all sorts of ways. Now, when we cut this out, okay, this isn't garbage. Okay, how fun. And this is another thing about, they're so detailed. Okay, you can tell what that is. What if you had this in black? Okay, here. This is what I mean by you can just use your little scissors and snip those little bits. Just once you get one, you just roll right through the rest. Just like so. Right up to this one. Okay. How fabulous is that? Just like that. You don't even have to do any stamping. Do that in any color. Black, white, purple, gold. Oh, that would be really pretty on gold. Okay. So you don't even need the stamp. You can just use the die. And these extra little bits, anytime you see something that's cut but not cut through, those are just windows of happiness. You can just pop those suckers up. You put a little dot of foam square back there and just pop those up, and it just gives them a little bit more life. Okay, a little bit more something oomph. Let me pop these ones up. Okay, just something fun. Just something fun. Okay, so lots to do if you're stamping on tissue. You can use the tissue to hide a bad stamp. You can use tissue just to mute the background. Use tissue on clear plastic, just glue her down. That's what that one was, remember? But yeah, and you stamp the exact same way you would as if you were using paper. Although, again, if you get it too wet, it's going to do weird stuff and rip. So be careful with the water in the tissue. Okay, let's do that real quick before I say goodbye. We're just going to get this one here and see what happens, because it is a water reactive ink. Ooh, that's very interesting. It softened it up for sure. Clean that up with that and set that right on top. So yeah, you can definitely play around and do some interesting stuff. I'm wishing now I would have squirted that while it was on a paper and seen what it did. But you can see as I was picking up and setting it down, it left the ink through the backside. So cool, so cool. Alrighty, well that is that for this demo, my friends. Have fun stamping on some tissue paper. You could do big black bulky images and do some fun stuff. Just glue them on the back side or the front side. I mean, some of these tissues, they look good on either side, which would be fun for reverse image. Another way, if you need to do that, just make sure it stamps really good through the back side and then do a reverse image. I hope you all enjoyed and maybe learned a little something something. And if you do a project, any kind of project, and you're like, I was working while I was watching, feel free to share on Instagram with hashtag #ChatWithSassy, or on my Chat with Sassy Facebook page. Until next time, we will see you. Have a great one. Bye-bye.